Hello students. So we are covering our class 10th geographies chapter number 1 and the name of the chapter is resources and development. Already we have covered the two videos and few portions related to this chapter. We have covered what is a resource, then we have covered different classification of resources like on the basis of origin, biotic and abiotic resources, on the basis of exhaustibility, that is renewable and non-renewable resources, on the basis of ownership, individual, community, national and international resources, and then on the basis of status of development, potential, developed, stocks and reserves. We had then covered the sustainable development concept, and the first meeting called in Rio de Janeiro, the capital of Brazil, in 1992. That was the first International Earth Summit where Agenda 21 was signed. After that, we understood the concept of resource planning, the various stages of resource planning, the importance of resource planning for the country like India, and then we had understood how we can conserve our resources and resource planning, how it plays an important role for the conservation of our resources. So now we have moved to the next part, and that is the land resource. So first of all, we have to understand the importance of land resource. Obviously, land resource is one of the most important resources for human beings, as it supports the human beings and their life in various way, their market activities, their settlements, their different kinds of activities like agricultural production, even the other creatures that completely depends on land resource. So our survival is completely depends on the land resource. We cannot live in air, we cannot live in water, we can live only on land. So that is the importance of land as a resource for human beings. Now we are moving to the next part, that is the division of total land mass of India, that can be divided into three main categories: plains, mountains and plateaus. So out of the total land mass, 43% of India's land is covered with the plain area. This plain area is very important for various activities of human beings, from agriculture to the settlements, from setting up of transport and communication to the industries. For that purpose, our plain area is used. Then the mountains. So the mountains, they not only maintain the ecological balance of Indian environment, but at the same time, these mountains are homes for perennial rivers like Ganga, Brahmaputra, Yamuna, Indus, and many of the supporting rivers. Then third one is the plateau. Plateau, that is the storehouse of different kinds of minerals. The peninsular plateau, that is the home of various kinds of minerals also, and obviously the people are also living over there. So this is the division of the landmass. Now we are moving to the next part, that is the land use. Now in this slide, we are going to understand the various utilizations of Indian landmass. That means we human beings, we Indians are using our land for various purposes. ये कौन कौन से purpose हैं वो आपके सामने दिए हुए हैं. First one is the forest. So our land mass that is used for forest purpose, that means a certain percentage of our Indian land mass that is covered by the forest area. You will see ki how in 1960s the forest area covered the about 18% of the land mass, and now in 2015-16 it has been increased to 23% of forest area. But we have to remember that this forest area, which has been increased from 18 to 23%, first our desired goal in our forest policy was 33% area. अगर हमें अपने इकोलॉजिकल बैलेंस को मेंटेन करके रखना है, अपने एनवायरनमेंट को बना कर रखना है, उसमें बैलेंस क्रिएट करना है, तो जो डिजायर्ड गोल है किसी भी देश के फॉरेस्ट एरिया का, दैट शुड बी 33%, बट वी हैव 23% ऑफ फॉरेस्ट एरिया। और उसमें भी ये याद रखना है कि जो नेचुरल फॉरेस्ट है, जो ह्यूमन हेल्प की बिना अपने आप ही जो ग्रो करता है, जिसमें अधिकतर हमारी लिविंग स्पीसीज रहती हैं, उसका परसेंटेज कम हुआ है, जबकि जो artificial forests we cannot say them, but the forests which we use for commercial purpose, or commercial forests like the plants or trees of devdar or sal or teak जिनकी commercial value है, उसका percentage बड़ा है। The next category of land which we are using is land which is not available for cultivation, which is not used for cultivation due to the various reasons, like number one, they are barren and wasteland. That means कि उन लैंड की क्वालिटी इतनी पुअर है सॉइल की कि वो आप यू कैन नॉट यूज देम फॉर agricultural purpose, that is a wasteland. Then second one is the land for non-agricultural uses, like we have to build our settlements, we have to develop the communication and transportation system on that particular land area, we have to build up our factories, etc. Then the third utilization of land is the uncultivated land area other than fallow land. So fallow land is that land which we left uncultivated for 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years. Why? Because the land quality is not good, and when we leave it for 1, 2, 3 years, then the soil gains its fertility again and we do the production on that particular land. So that is fallow land, ये आपको याद रखना है। अब हमें करना है कि other uncultivated land एक्सक्लूडिंग, दैट मीन्स कि जो फैलो लैंड नहीं है, जिनको हमने कल्टीवेशन के लिए अभी छोड़ा हुआ है कुछ टाइम पीरियड के लिए, उसे छोड़ के उसको लीव करके कौन कौन सा लैंड का यूजेस है, वो है नंबर 1 परमानेंट पास्चर एंड ग्रेजिंग लैंड। दैट मीन्स द लैंड विच इज यूज फॉर ग्रेजिंग पर्पस, घास के मैदान। तो हम अगर देखें इसको, तो ग्रेजिंग लैंड और पास्चर लैंड दे आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ इंडिया, क्योंकि जो हमारे रूरल साइड एरियाज हैं जिसमें हम एग्रीकल्चर के साथ साथ हम डेयरी फार्मिंग का काम भी करते हैं हमारे फार्मर्स, तो उनके लिए ऐसे पास्चर लैंड्स दे प्ले अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल। बट फ्रॉम 1960s when the pasture land and this grazing land was 4.7%, that has been reduced 2015-16 to 3.3%. That means our pasture land has decreased, and it is a matter of serious concern, क्योंकि इंडियन इकॉनमी विच इज रूरल इकॉनमी, अगर उसमें पास्चर लैंड कम होंगे तो इट विल इम्पैक्ट अवर फार्मर्स ऑल्सो, एंड इट विल इम्पैक्ट अवर नीड्स ऑफ मिल्क ऑल्सो। नेक्स्ट इज द लैंड अंडर द मिसलेनियस ट्री क्रॉप्स, ग्रूव्स। That means कि the land which is left for the production of tree crops, like in our area Haryana, the farmers are doing the production of poplar so that the commercial wood can be supplied to the different timber merchant. And then the grooves, for the grooves like the mango grooves or the guava grooves or the lychee grooves, we are using our land. So that is, in 1960 that land area was about 1.5%, and now it has reduced to 1%. And now the third one is the culturable wasteland. So culturable wasteland is that land which is left for more than 5 agricultural years, and we are not doing any kind of agricultural activities on that particular land. Just think about the tribal community people who are involved in shifting agriculture. So after doing the shifting agriculture for 2 to 3 agricultural season, they leave that particular patch of land mass for the next few years. So that will be considered the culturable wasteland, and you will also find out the data of culturable wasteland that has been reduced from 1960s. 1960-61, that particular area was about 6.23%, and now it has been reduced to about 4%. Here we have to understand that the cultivable wasteland is that land which is left uncultivated for more than 5 years. So fallow land, as discussed before, can be categorized in two parts: current fallow land and other than current fallow. Current fallow land is that uncultivated land mass that is left for non-agricultural purpose for लेस देन वन एग्रीकल्चरल सीजन. दैट मीन्स वो जमीन जिसको आपने एक साल या एक साल से कम टाइम पीरियड के लिए छोड़ दिया है, उसके ऊपर कोई आप खेती नहीं कर रहे हैं ताकि लैंड अपनी फर्टिलिटी को गेन कर सके. दैट इज कॉल्ड फैलो लैंड, करंट फैलो लैंड. एंड करंट फैलो लैंड एरिया हैज इंक्रीज फ्रॉम 3% to, in fact, 3.7% to 4.9%. And the second category of fallow land is the other than the current fallow. जो current fallow को छोड़ के दूसरा जो land है uncultivated, that is other than the current fallow land. And this is that land mass which we are leaving for uncultivated. We are not doing any cultivation on that particular land between the time period to 1 to 5 years. सो अगर एक साल से कम टाइम पीरियड के लिए लैंड को आपने छोड़ा है अनकल्टिवेटेड, देन इट इज फैलो लैंड. अगर आपने 1 से 5 साल तक के टाइम पीरियड के लिए लैंड को छोड़ा है अनकल्टिवेटेड, देन इट इज द अदर देन करंट फैलो. और अगर आपने 5 साल से ज़्यादा टाइम पीरियड के लिए लैंड को छोड़ दिया है, उसके ऊपर कल्टिवेशन नहीं किया है ताकि लैंड अपनी फर्टिलिटी को गेन कर सके, देन इट इज द कल्चरेबल वेस्टलैंड. I hope you understood all these three concepts. Let's move to the most important part of our land use pattern, that is the net sown area. So the net sown area is that area where we do cultivation every year. Year after year we are doing the production on that particular land. That will come under the category of net sown area. Here we have to understand one thing, as it has been written in your book also. What is the difference between the net sown area and gross cropped area? So net sown area is that area where every year we are doing the cultivation, but we have to count that particular area only once. For example, in Haryana, our farmers, they are involved in jazz crops also, jazz season production, then the खरीफ as well as the रबी सीजन. हम 3 तरह की फसल लगा लेते हैं एक साल में अपने सेम पीस ऑफ लैंड से. बट क्योंकि लैंड सेम है, हमने अपनी क्रॉप्स को कई बार अलग अलग रोटेट करके लगाया है अलग अलग एग्रीकल्चरल सीजन में, तो हम उसको एक ही काउंट करेंगे लैंड मास को. But in gross cropped area, we count the land as many time as in agricultural season we are doing the production. Simple example, suppose 1 hectare of land में आपने जून जुलाई से और अक्टूबर तक आपने सबसे पहले खरीफ सीजन में राइस लगा लिया 1 हेक्टेयर ऑफ लैंड में, तो वो एक बार काउंट होगा. फिर अगर आपने उसी लैंड में फिर रबी सीजन में वीट प्रोड्यूस किया तो उसको हम एक और बार काउंट कर लेंगे, तो देन वो 2 हेक्टेयर में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा. अगर आपने कोई और क्रॉप का प्रोडक्शन भी किया अंडर जैज सीजन, आपने कोई फॉटर क्रॉप लगाई है, तो देन द सेम पीस ऑफ लैंड विल कन्वर्ट इनटू द वन मोर टाइम वी विल काउंट इट एंड इट विल बिकम 3 हेक्टेयर्स ऑफ लैंड. बट इन नेट सोन एरिया वी विल काउंट इट ओनली वंस कि लैंड सेम पीस ऑफ लैंड इज बीइंग यूज्ड for the production of different crops in different season, but the land remains same, तो वो आपका एक ही रहेगा. तो ग्रॉस क्रॉप्ड एरिया में टोटल करेंगे उतनी बार उसको काउंट करेंगे जितनी बार आपने उसको प्रोडक्शन के लिए यूज किया है लैंड मास को. और नेट सोन एरिया में सिर्फ लैंड मास को हम चेक करेंगे कि क्या वही सेम लैंड मास है, तो हम उसे एक ही बार काउंट करेंगे. I hope you understood the difference between net sown area and gross cropped area. Let's talk about the percentage of net sown area. तो अगर आप चेक करें तो इंडिया का जो लैंड यूज है उसका जो सबसे बड़ा लैंड का इस्तेमाल यूटिलाइजेशन होता है, दैट इज फॉर नेट सोन एरिया. तो इन 1960-61 द नेट सोन एरिया वाज अराउंड 46%. and now 46% से it has been reduced to 45.5% in 2015-16, जो दिखाता है कि आपका नेट जोन एरिया कम हुआ है. So this particular pie chart is making the comparison between the time period 1960-61 to 2014-15, और आप इसमें कंपैरिजन करके वो सब देख सकते हैं विच वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड. हाउ नेट जोन एरिया रिड्यूस फ्रॉम 46.26% टू 45.5%. How the forest area that has increased from 18.11% to 23.33%. How the barren land, banjar zameen, and the wasteland that has reduced from 18.11% to 55%, and that is obvious. 1950s 60s में बहुत सारा लैंड वेस्ट लैंड होगा क्योंकि एग्रीकल्चरल फैसिलिटीज़ वहाँ पे नहीं पहुँची होंगी, इरिगेशनल फैसिलिटीज़ वहाँ नहीं पहुँची होंगी, सॉरी. और 2014-15 तक आते आते बहुत सा लैंड विच वॉज अर्लियर कंसिडर्ड बैरन लैंड is now used for cultivation due to the proper irrigational facilities, due to the advancement in agricultural techniques. उसके बाद हमारे पास जो नेक्स्ट पॉइंट आता है समझने के लिए, एक तो नेट जोन एरिया से जुड़ा हुआ पॉइंट आपको ये भी समझा दिया है कि कैसे नेट जोन एरिया जो है वो अलग अलग स्टेट्स में अलग अलग है. लाइक कि स्टेट्स लाइक हरियाणा एंड पंजाब, वहाँ पे 80% ऑफ द लैंड दैट इज यूज्ड every year we are doing cultivation on that land. That means कि 80% of the land mass is net zone area, whereas the hilly states and more particularly the northeastern states, the net zone area is even less than 10%. So after covering the different land use pattern in India, we are moving to our next topic, that is the land degradation. So what is land degradation? The land which becomes unfit for cultivation, which is not used for cultivation due to the decline fertility, that is the degraded land. And then continuous use of land without taking the proper methods to conserve it leads to the land degradation. Now, what are the various causes of land degradation? Let's check it out. The first cause for the land degradation is the mining. If we are not planning our mining activities, and if we are just doing the mining without any proper plan, then it will definitely leads to the land degradation. Our states like Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and Odisha, they face this problem of land degradation due to mining, because the land has deep scars on the surface and that cannot be used for cultivation. So the next reason for the land degradation is overgrazing. When we are sending our cattle on the same piece of land for grazing purpose again and again, they will finish off all the grass on that surface, and it will be easy for wind and water to degrade that particular land. And the states like Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, they are facing this problem of land degradation due to the overgrazing. Next point is over irrigation. So the states like Haryana, Punjab, Western UP, where the agricultural irrigation is done with the help of tubewells, what the farmers doing, or what kind of malpractice is there, they sometimes over irrigate their land. As a result, the water logging situation comes. Water logging, जहाँ पे लैंड जो है वो पानी को सोक करना बंद कर देती है ज़्यादा पानी की अवेलेबिलिटी की वजह से, and it results into the increase in salinity, alkalinity in the land mass and declining of the soil fertility. So the next reason for the land degradation is the mineral processing. तो जब हम minerals को process करते हैं ताकि उनका इस्तेमाल furtherly किया जा सके, तो then it also leads to the land degradation. And we have already the example of degradation of land due to the processing of mineral, like the cement industry, where the limestone is grinded with the help of machines, and then the particles of these limestones, they spread everywhere on the land surface, and then these particles stops the water going inside. They stops or retards the water infiltration activities. So this is the next reason. And now we are moving to the industrial wastage and land degradation. So obviously the wastage of our industries that is lying here and there in and our land is just converting into the dump yard of these industrial wastes, more particularly the polythenes and the other chemical wastes. They are thrown on the landmass and degrades the land. At the same time, the industrial waste is also thrown in the water also. So our water resource is also being polluted due to the industrial wastes. Next activity is the deforestation, the activity of human beings where we are recklessly cutting down our trees, our plants, and it results into the deforestation and harming our environment. Why? Because the roots of the plants or trees, they are holding our soil particles tightly and they do not allow land degradation or the soil erosion made by the wind or water. So deforestation is also one of the activity which leads to the soil erosion as well as degradation of land. So now we are moving to the next part, that is the various steps for conserving our land resource, various activities through which we can conserve our land. And these various activities are, the first one is the shelter belts. So we can create a shelter of belts on the edges of our fields, and these roots of the plants or trees which we have erected on the sides of, on the verts of our fields, they will bind the soil together, tightly bind the soil, and will not allow the water and wind to erode our soil. Then the next method is the afforestation. So deforestation का जवाब क्या है हमारे पास? Afforestation, by planting more and more trees, we can not only increase our forest area, maintain our ecological balance, but also saves our soil from degradation. Now the next one is the keeping a control on mining activities. So we can keep a proper check on mining activities. We can use the latest techniques of mining activities so that we can minimize the wastage, and in a way we can control our land degradation. After that, the next one is the control on the overgrazing. So rather than sending our cattle on the same piece of land, we should adopt the process of rotation and we should send them on different pasture land in different time period. And the last one is the control on over irrigation. So we should also keep a check on our over irrigational activity which leads to waterlogging and declining of land. We can adopt the latest techniques in this direction so that we can not only save our water but also we can save our land from degradation. So with this we have covered our video number 3 and these certain topics which were there in this video. I hope you understood each and everything. So thanks for watching the video. Have a nice day.